Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, your main proprietor at Tenkar's Tavern blog. I love the picture that Ron from Page decided to use for the announcement today. Special guest, Eric Tenkar, Morton Danny Jr. But here's the thing. Back in 2014, it was my first convention in, I don't know, 20 years. I had gone to a Gen Con earlier and probably nearly a decade before going to Gen Con, I went to a small convention at Columbia University. I hadn't gone to all that many conventions. Now, this year, I'm going to six, maybe seven. And if you enjoy RPGs, but more importantly, you enjoy socializing with other members of the gaming community, you should be going to conventions. If you want to meet people like Frank Metzner, Tim Kask, Matt Finch, Bill Webb, many others. I'm like, you know, second or third tier. And if there's some first tier special guests, you should be going to conventions. And I'm not saying you got to go fly. All right. Look to see which ones are happening in your area. I used to put together a bit of a list of gaming conventions. I probably should do it again because if you're not going to gaming conventions, you're going to miss out on getting a chance to meet the people that have been influential in your gaming community. So I'm going to go through the conventions that I'm going to this year. I went to Page in this past January, just a couple of weeks ago. Had an amazing time. Beautifully run convention. I've already been invited back for 2025. That's where the special guest for Eric Tenkar is. This month, later on this month, Total Con is February 20th to 23rd, Marlborough, Massachusetts. I will be getting there on Thursday early afternoon, probably leaving Sunday around noon. I go to gaming conventions to socialize. Now, some of them make me a special guest, and I appreciate it because it adds up. The cost adds up. Some of them even cover hotels for their special guests. God bless you when you do, because I'm happy to go to gaming conventions. I'm happy to go to represent your convention. That's the role of a special guest, right? Your role is to show off the gaming convention, to show it in its best light. Whether you're running games or doing panels or just being available for the attendees to socialize with, that's what you're there for. So, WizardCon in April. That's the 25th through the 27th, Kalamazoo, Michigan. I'll also be a special guest there. Thank you, Don. North Texas RPG Con. That's in Irving, Texas, just outside of Dallas. The airport that or the airport hotel is an excellent hotel. The facilities are literally spot on. They treat us like gold. They appreciate the old school gamers. No, I'm not a special guest at North Texas, but I'm North Texas is a coming back to family. It really is. It's a home away from home. A new convention that's going to be the following weekend, the 14th and the 15th in Utica, is Central New York Con. It's an old school gaming con. That's what it's focused on. That is what it is zoomed in on, and it's a new con. It's the first year for it. They're expecting a couple of hundred attendees. I will be a special guest there. Um, it's a Saturday Sunday convention. Okay, so that's awesome. If you are somebody with a regular job, Monday through Friday, bankers hours. You can't get off much time in the summertime. This is a convention. If you're in the area, you can get to. Um, as it stands right now, all these conventions I'm driving to, with the exception of North Texas. And to me, that's something I got to take into account. Like, if there were conventions on the West Coast, it's probably cost prohibitive for me to make that trip without having the convention cover uh, not just your hotel, but your travel costs. So I like to stay to local ones. It makes it easier for everybody. But again, I go to conventions to socialize, and make friends and talk gaming. You know, I don't really go. I don't play too many games at conventions. I generally run a few, and I'm there to meet you. ShireCon. ShireCon is a Friday, Saturday, September 26th to the 27th, Northwestern Connecticut. ShireCon is held at a VFW. They treated us like gold last year. One issue with ShireCon is it's almost like a commuter con because you can stay in a bed and breakfast or maybe an Airbnb, but there are nearest hotel is probably, I don't know, 25, 30-minute drive. So this isn't one of those cons where you're going to uh, you may need a designated driver, is what I'm trying to say, if you're one of those con attendees. Now, that's already 6 conventions for this year. There's another convention that's on my radar. Uh, I gotta see if it fits. When I see it, yeah. Listen, when you go into a convention, if you have pets, kids, you gotta make accommodations for such. And my son, my son's in his 30s, but I have pets, so we have to make sure that we have people that can take care of and watch our pets. But Game Face Con, March 8th through the 9th in Baltimore, it's being held in a brewery. You, if you want to sell me on a convention, that's the easiest way to sell me, and it's one that's at my range of driving. So and when I can drive to a convention, it means I don't need to put a day aside for travel usually. So, Game Face Con, I'm going to include links to all of these conventions in the show notes and the pinned comment. If there are other conventions in the Northeast that I know there's Rising Phoenix Con. Uh, I know the people that run it, very, very cool people. But Rising Phoenix is the same weekend as WizardCon. So I can't be in two places at once just yet. But if you are in the Northeast, Rising Phoenix is certainly a good choice. Yeah, I definitely got to get back to putting together a list of conventions and such. Yeah, put together a calendar so everybody can see. All right, folks. Well, that's today's. Look at that expression on that still shot. Amazing. Thank you, Ron. I really do appreciate it. So, folks, like, subscribe, and go to conventions. Seriously, the original creators of D&D was created 50 years ago. Okay? So whatever age they were when D&D was birthed and started to gain popularity, it had 50 years to it. They're not getting any younger. None of us are. If you want to catch those from that initial generation, speak with them. I don't grab signatures at cons. I probably should, but I never think of it. I'm just happy to get the occasional picture. But this is your opportunity. See what conventions are in your area, especially. Ones that I'm not going to this year are GaryCon. Sorry, I can never time getting a room there, and it's just an awkward location to get to. But it's a bucket list place, Lake Geneva, so you should probably go at least once. And Game Hall. Game Hall runs like clockwork. It's a great con. I just need to limit the ones I have to fly to. So, folks, be safe, be well, God bless. Roll those dice, roll them well. I'll catch you all on the flip side. Be good.